Hey, this is Matt at Crew. I'm one of the product leaders with our digital products and services team. As our app team has been together doing some strategy thinking the last couple of days and weeks, we've been thinking around this idea of what are some of the things that Crew does? Just in general, not digitally, but what is Crew about? What are the things that Crew repeats over and over again? As we began to think about it, we all could tell a story about a time when somebody with Crew, staff, involved student, somebody from the neighborhood came to us and actually tried to convince us to do something that we didn't want to do. Hey, let's go talk to that person. Let's go share our faith. Let's go tell our testimony. Let's go serve. And it's like, I know I should do that, but I really don't want to do. As we've been talking about that, we've been thinking about what are other global companies that where technology is not the first thing that they do, who are trying to help people do what they don't want to do. Just think about that for a second. What are some other companies that come to mind that are also trying to help people do what they don't want to do? Well, one of the ones that came to our mind was in the athletic sphere. So we're going to review 3 global athletic companies who are seeking to use technology not as their first strategy, but as an important strategy to see how they use that to outfit and train their athletes. So you and I, if we were to complete this sentence, I want to be healthy. I want to compete. I want to win. When we say a sentence like that, there are companies that are also saying this. Well, if you want to be healthy, then we want to encourage you to be healthy. Or if you say, I want to compete or I want to win, then they're saying, you know what? We're here to track you or we're here to coach you. We're going to look at 3 companies that are kind of completing that second sentence, trying to get our attention, trying to get our loyalty, trying to get our money also. That's Adidas, Under Armour, and Nike. So if you were with us in our first presentation, we introduced this idea of the plane of engagement, where there's kind of an x-axis across the bottom and a y-axis up top. Let me introduce it again quickly here for those of you who didn't watch the first one. So on the x-axis for this example, for this review, as we look at these 3 companies, we're actually going to put on the far left side, these are your couch sitters. All right, honestly, I'm more towards the couch sitting side than I am to the far right side, which is that pro level athlete. And in the middle, we kind of have that weekend warrior type thing. It's like during the week, don't do as much, but on the weekend, really go for it. Have some fun, get healthy. And on the y-axis, we have kind of the scale of motivation, we're calling it. Low motivation, medium motivation, high motivation. And as we think about this, it's not perfect, but it's like, where does my motivation as a person really match up with Adidas's motivation or Nike's motivation for me? And that's kind of what that intersection looks like. So to start out our review, we're going to start with Nike. And here's Nike's homepage in the US. As we kind of look around, it's like, where's technology? Where are they trying to surface technology to help me as an aspiring athlete? And if you're familiar with Nike, you know that their Nike Plus kind of tribe is the place in which they really build that around. So you can see that up in the second navigation up top. I can click Nike Plus or I can log into an account. So we're going to click Nike Plus and we're going to go in and we're going to see the promise of Nike Plus for us, which is to unlock more. Okay? You join us, you join our tribe, we're going to help you unlock more. And if we were to scroll down on this page, this is how they tell us they're actually going to do that for us. So just a quick glance, they're going to give us free shipping on stuff, 30-day trials. We can actually try out new gear, seeing if it's helping our game or our personal records. We're going to get priority access to coveted products. We're going to get exclusive content to athletes. Okay, so what we're seeing here is Nike's really trying to sell us this exclusivity, early access to us. But then in the bottom left, we see that they have on-the-go workouts and personalized plans for the training club and the run club apps. So that's where where Nike's starting to come in and say, not only do we want to just sell you our gear to help you be better, we actually want to come around you and motivate you or keep you motivated in becoming an athlete. And then at the bottom, we can see they kind of have 4 mobile apps in their suite. We're going to focus on the 3 left apps. We're going to ignore the 4th, which is kind of a sneaker app, which is a really powerful but unique group of people that's not really around athletics, but more around fashion. Okay, so we're going to click into the Nike Plus app first. And how we're going to do this for all the apps, for all the companies, it's kind of on the left side, we'll have their landing page with the different features of how they think they're going to deliver this value to us. And then we have the plane of engagement on the right. I want to highlight 2 things here for the Nike app. Learn from the pros. Learn from the pros. So here I am, download the Nike app, and they're giving me access to pro athletes over here on the right side of the grid. They're giving me access to them to tap in to the global network of athletes and coaches so I can get insights and stories where I couldn't get anywhere else. Okay, so Nike has amazing reach with the best athletes in the world where they're going to let me tap into that. And at the bottom, it says full service support. And if you could read it, it says I can connect with Nike experts ready to advise and assist. That's actually pretty amazing. Even though it's the 4th thing they're promising me, it's like they're actually going to pair me up with somebody who's going to kind of coach me through what gear I need, or maybe even what training regimen I need to take. So let's look at where our team believes, if we were to map this app across this engagement plane, we feel like it's a pretty broad value offering for this type of audience. We're excluding the pro, we're excluding the low motivated couch sitter, but otherwise, if you find yourself in this grid, this app is trying to provide value to you. Okay, let's go to the Nike Plus Run Club app. I'm going to highlight 2 things here. The second is get personalized coaching. Okay, so we saw a little bit of access to coaches in the first one, but here we're kind of being offered personalized coaching, whatever my goal. Okay, so that gives us a clue of the audience they're thinking about, whatever my goal. Okay, if I'm kind of a pro or a couch sitter, a Nike Plus coach, my Nike Plus coach has a plan for you. Okay, I'm pretty intrigued in that if I'm kind of motivated. If I'm low motivated couch sitter or whatever, I'm like, I actually don't want to coach. But if I'm trying to get in gear, if I'm trying to get motivated, if I want to change my lifestyle, or if I've been active and I want to stay that way, having a coach is helpful. The other one I want to point out is Run Together. The Nike Plus Run Club app actually has done a spectacular job of kind of building tribes of people in different places. It's a community. So it isn't just about gear. It isn't just about me going out and doing stuff. It's actually about us together getting motivated, staying motivated, and running together. So if we were to map the kind of core audience for this, we've kind of narrowed it down actually because 1, this app is really specific around running. I hate running, okay? I hate running. I kind of want to get motivated to be more healthy. I kind of want to get motivated to work out some more, but I hate running. So first of all, this app really isn't for me. As much coaching as you want to give me, as much community as you want to give me, no thanks. But for a really highly motivated or very focused group of people here in the middle, this is the thing you need to really make it over that hump, stay over that hump, and keep progressing forward. So that's the Run Club app. Let's take a look at the Training Club app. Very similar name, but a broader promise. You can see here up top, okay, maybe this is a little bit for me, right? Because there's 100 plus workouts. This isn't just about running. This is about challenging myself with a huge variety of workouts, it says. And then also it says expert guidance, instructional audio and video clips. So I'm going to get to watch somebody who knows what they're doing help me actually replicate that and do it myself. I can personalize plans and all my activities count. So for us, as we looked at this, there's kind of an implied nature of I'm already moving, I'm already motivated, and this is really the types of pictures that are here, really much more aimed at that top right where I'm already going for it, and this is going to help me keep going for it and go for it better. So here are 3 apps kind of in Nike's athletic suite. If we put all 3 on top to see where there's only one app focusing on this audience or there's duplication of effort in apps, we can kind of see most of the parts of the grid are overlapping with different apps trying to serve the same people. Why is Nike trying to do this? Why do they feel like it's worth the investment to build iOS and Android apps 3 times over for some of these audiences? Well, they're trying to hit different motivation and different value propositions for these same people. So just to clean it up a little bit, you can see the dark green is where there is overlap in the plane of engagement, and the light green is where there's only one of the 3 apps that's really focusing on that audience. One last slide for Nike. So that's their strategy, but is it working? Can we get any hint of this is actually helping Nike do what Nike wants to do? So if we look at the Nike Plus app, we're going to run down a little bit. The Nike Plus app is pretty new. It's just about a year old. It's getting between a 4.2 and 4.8 rating, about half a million downloads for each, about 1 million downloads total. And the frequency, so the number of days that pass before a user comes back in to use the app, is right around 6 days. So we're looking at a frequency of every week that this app is really drawing people back in. Now what I found really interesting for the Nike Plus app is that it's categorized as a shopping app. Okay, it's not health, it's not fitness, it's not wellness, it's a shopping app, which is kind of curious to me because there is some kind of workout stuff to it, but it's really kind of broadening its value and connecting you kind of with that gear. So interesting decision by Nike there in terms of its categorization. It's putting it in a different place than its other 2 apps, which are rated in the health and fitness categories. So with the Run Club app, one of the things that I want to point out, you can scan to the rest, is that there are only 240,000 lifetime downloads of the Google Android app, 550,000 for the iOS app. We also see a difference in the frequency of about a day. I'm curious, even though the iOS app came out 4 years sooner than Google, I'm curious what's happening within the Android that's not gaining as much traction as the iOS app here. And lastly, for the Nike Plus Training Club app, I want to highlight just a few things. One is that their iOS app is getting 3.5 stars. Now in the app world, it's already pretty brutal. 3.5 stars, anything below 4 is really going to scare away a person who's going to download the app. The other thing I thought interesting is that in this app, which our team identified as a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more towards the higher motivated, committed crowd, is that the frequency is 6.66 days, which is very different than over there, which is the broader Nike Plus app, broader audience, frequency of 5.6 days. One thing that we would want to dig in more here to look into this is Nike seems to be giving much more attention, if you remember, in that coaching aspect to the left, to Nike Plus and the Run Club. More access to coaches, more access to plans and people and community, versus over there, the Training Club app is really just about me, by myself, hyper motivated. So could there be something in there where the lack of community is kind of eroding some of that frequency? Okay, Under Armour is one of Nike's chief rivals. So this is Under Armour's homepage. And if we look here, we don't have to look very hard to actually find their promise of kind of technology serving me. So Under Armour is about building the gear and I'll get better. So let's look at the technology gear that Android's trying to build to help us. So if we click into their apps page, looking at connected fitness, okay? Definitive Health Fitness Network dedicated to help you lead a healthy life. So choose the app that's right for you, which sounds like there's more than one, and indeed there is. So the first app is the Under Armour Record app. Okay, I'm promised that this app will give my body a dashboard. Okay, I can track and analyze data, never miss a beat. I can connect it to music, I can challenge my friends. This is kind of acting as a home base or a hub for Under Armour's suite of apps. And if we were to map kind of our take on the audience, there's a lot around helping you better do what you're already doing. Okay, so the low motivation crowd is pretty much out. Also, some of these things are really just about creating an environment when I am active to where I feel served. So we're kind of lopping off the real high intense pro level as well. The next app that they offer us is Map My Fitness. Okay, Map My Fitness. I'm promised here a custom profile. Yay, okay, that's kind of interesting. I can map stuff, I can track activity, and then at the bottom you can see that they also are trying to help me find great runs in these popular cities. So where they're not trying to build a community, they are trying to put me in a geographic place where I might be able to run into other runners or people who are working out. So if we were to overlay the audience, again, this is about capturing my run, ride, walk, hike, wherever my workout takes you. This is assuming I am running or riding or walking or hiking. So it's not really trying to get me there, it's just trying to help me because I'm there. The third app in Under Armour's suite is Endomondo. Okay, Endomondo. Dare you to say that 10 times fast. Endomondo straight away says this: stay motivated. Okay, it's a free app and website that makes fitness fun and helps me stay motivated. Okay, well, that makes it pretty simple for us to think about kind of what audience they're looking at. I get audio coaching, which will help me in terms of pacing and speed and all those types of things. I also get some training plans that are packaged out for me. So clearly, again, kind of this audience. All right, lastly in the Under Armour offerings is the MyFitnessPal. Okay, MyFitnessPal. I am told here that I can log meals, count calories, track progress. Okay, if I'm not motivated, this is already feeling like a lot of work. But if I'm motivated, this is maybe super helpful, right? Because I don't need a notebook or all these other things. I can put all that packaged in one way. I'm also told down below that lose weight the healthy way. So they're actually trying to get me to do something. They're trying to get me to lose weight, to be healthier. So I can tell they're trying to move down into the little bit more slothful audiences like myself and make it as easy as possible for me to be healthy. Tracking calories, all those things can be quite difficult. My daughter has type 1 diabetes, and so I understand all that. It's a lot of work, and anything that can simplify that, make my decisions easier, is welcomed if I'm ready to do the work. So this is Under Armour's suite, kind of mapped all together, and you can see there's tons of clumping there in the middle. And again, we're kind of ignoring the extremes of that highly motivated pro and the completely low motivated couch sitter. So to squish those together, we can see the overlapping audiences in the dark blue and the singular app audience in the light blue. Regarding Crew, this is one of the ones that, as we evaluated, probably feels more like Crew's current reality of the app suite. It's not hard to tell that Under Armour pretty much went and purchased these other apps. Okay, they have their own branding, they have their own feel, they have their own language. Also realized in the app stores, some of these apps are published by Under Armour, some of these apps are published by Map My Fitness. So they're not even all published by the same company. So it kind of feels a little bit disjointed, and which makes sense, right? Because these were kind of 3, 4, 5 different companies that were all bought and purchased. And if I were to guess, they're probably all still acting independently of one another, but they each kind of have that Under Armour logo kind of slapped on the top. If we look at how successful we can look into this strategy. Now, we don't have all the data. We can't look all the way in. But for the UA Record, it's been around a couple of years, kind of low 4-star rating. Not a ton of downloads compared to Nike's. And the frequency rate is actually up in the almost 8 days. Now, if you remember back to the Under Armour Record app purpose, it was kind of to be a dashboard for my body. It was kind of to be the hub of all of my activity. I'm connecting devices and different things to this hub. So I would imagine they're not super excited about an 8-day frequency when this is supposed to be my body's dashboard. For the other one, Map My Run, we can see here out for a couple. iOS has been out a couple of years, both at 4 stars. The downloads for the Android app at 6.9 thousand lifetime downloads, and it's been out 3 years. What's interesting with this one, as we dug in more, is there's actually not just one of these, there's actually 10 of these. So when they said map your walk, map your bike, hike, run, all those things, they didn't mean doing that in the same app. They have different apps for each one of those. So map my hike, map my walk, map my bike, map my, I can't even say it, right? So there's something in their strategy that has said we feel like it's better to have fewer users in a hyper-focused experience across multiple apps. Well, I would have guessed that that was a bad idea, but looking at the frequency, it's one of the best frequencies we're seeing so far. 4.8 days go by between visits. Endomondo, similar profile to Map My Run, and one of the things that's curious to me too, if we were able to dig in with them, was the difference between the Android and iOS frequency for these apps. Like, what is Android doing here? It's actually pulling users in a day sooner than the iOS cousin. How are they getting that engagement much more frequent than iOS? It's a good lesson to learn that Android users and iOS users are not the same types of people, and what they're used to doing, how they're motivated, how Android works. They're unique audiences that we have to serve specifically. And lastly, for Under Armour, Map My Fitness. Almost 1 million downloads lifetime each, running at a 4.6 rating for the Play Store, and the frequency here at 4.3 days. So this whole Map My suite of stuff is really curious. I would not have paid attention to it actually just through looks. Nike suite, much more thought through on the design layer, much more cohesive, much more connected. Honestly, Under Armour feels quite scattered, but maybe more users, more frequent users. Interesting data than I would have anticipated. All right, so our last one that we're going to look into is Adidas, and just kind of scanning Adidas's homepage, like nothing here specifically around technology that's also built to help me do what I want to do. But if you're patient and scroll all the way to the bottom of their homepage, you'll see at the bottom of their footer, mobile apps. Okay, that sounds really, really exciting. I really, really want to click on that, right? Anyway, I'm going to click on it, and you can see that Adidas actually has a world of Adidas apps. Actually, it's only 2 that they offer us. The first is called All Day. And straight away, like, the feel of this page is much different than the feel of all the other pages that we've looked at, right? Cooler colors. We don't see anybody really sweating. We don't see any heavyweights. We're looking at a 360 fitness solution. And then it says here up there, it's kind of hard to see, but it says begin your journey to total wellness. That's one of the first, maybe only times we've heard that language in terms of not just stay motivated, but let's begin, let's get started. The promise here, be active, eat better, free your mindset. This is one of the only ones that we saw so far that has that kind of mindfulness, meditation aspect to it. And then this also includes rest. So if we were to map across our plane of engagement, we have kind of the first attempt to go after that low motivated couch sitter. So congratulations, Adidas, in getting into a new part of the audience, but very much about helping me do the things that I don't want to do, rather than helping me do the things I'm already doing, just do them better. And it's an interesting question for Cru. What are we kind of majoring in or focusing in? Do we just find and help people who are already talking to people about Jesus and making disciples and help them do it better? Or do we actually go try to change people's hearts or change people's motivations in terms of like, no, you really should, or you really want to, or you desire to, or God desires for you to, and we want to help you explore that and become that. That's much more helping people cross over thresholds and move through a journey than just kind of be supported where they are in it. I think it's kind of a big question, especially for us in the technology space. And the second app in Adidas's world of apps is Runtastic. Runtastic. All you need to stay fit. And here we go. Hearing a quite different message from Runtastic than All Day. Whereas All Day was begin, Runtastic is about staying fit. And then you'll see below, they give me some results. They help me sleep better. So if we map that audience, it's kind of the traditional audience that we've seen in Nike and Under Armour's active space. They're in that middle. So if we were to lay them over top and overlapping audiences, we see Adidas has a little bit cleaner separation between their two apps in terms of who they're serving. So they're not overlapping by much. So let's take a peek at their effectiveness, and we realize that this All Day app was just launched in June of 2017. So at the recording of this video, we're just like 3 months since launch of the iOS, and the Android app is actually not even out yet, still in beta. Another thing that's interesting to me though is the categories that they published All Day. They published it in the workout, wellness, and lifestyle app, which kind of fits their descriptions, right? Much broader, different audience than what Under Armour and Nike was trying to compete in and probably advertise in. And then for Runtastic, again, we see this kind of iOS about 5 years earlier than Android being released, which is interesting. Even that large companies with lots of money would have that long of a gap between an iOS Android publication, and their frequency in that 5.6 to 5.3 days. Very similar to what we were seeing for that same audience with Under Armour and Nike. Okay, so that's been our review of 3 companies and kind of their technology solutions that they're deploying to try to help us be healthy, help us compete, help us win. Again, we were looking at these 3 companies because they're in the business of really helping us do a lot of what we know we should do but don't want to do. And if we're honest, as people who follow Jesus, we feel the same way ourselves. And as we try to help others grow, we can often see that struggle as well. So what did you observe? Where were you surprised? If you were to go consult Nike or Under Armour or Adidas, what were some of the questions that you would ask or things that you would dig in more? Let us know and let's talk about that together. Thanks for listening as we continue to explore what is Cru's digital strategy and who are the audiences and how are we trying to value and serve them.